In the heart of a forgotten land, surrounded by thick forests and endless fog, there was a village called Anew, a place once known for its laughter, for its festivals, for the music that echoed through the night. But all that changed when the sickness came. It started slowly. First, the coughs, then the fevers, then the shadows under people's eyes, dark, hollow, and hopeless. Crops began to rot before harvest. Children cried through the nights. The village healer, Mamarisi, tried her herbs, her chants, her sacrifices, but nothing worked, and one after another, the villagers began to die. Fear became their daily bread. They whispered in corners, "The gods are angry." Others said, "It is a curse," but no one could say from where it came. Then one evening, as the sun sank blood-red behind the palm trees, a stranger walked into the village. He wore a long brown robe and a heavy staff that glowed faintly under the dying light. His eyes, oh, his eyes, were deep and knowing, like someone who had seen far more than any mortal should. He called himself Priest Obadel. He said he had come from a distant land, sent by the gods to heal Anew. At first the villagers doubted him, but when he touched a dying child and the child breathed again, when he laid his hands on a woman with sores and they disappeared within moments, doubt turned to faith, and faith turned to worship. They built him a small shrine at the edge of the forest, close to the river. Every evening, people lined up there, crying, begging, thanking him. They brought goats, chickens, yams, and coins as offerings, and the priest healed them. One after another, he healed them all. For the first time in months, laughter returned to Anew. But behind that laughter, something darker brewed. Mamarisi, the old healer, did not trust this man. She had lived long enough to know that power always has a price. And something about the priest's eyes unsettled her, the way they glowed faintly green under the moonlight, the way he smiled when people cried in pain before he touched them. One night, she followed him. Through the mist, into the forest. She hid behind a tree as he reached the riverbank, and there she saw him kneel and whisper into the water. But it was not prayer, it was conversation. A cold, deep voice rose from the river, something ancient, something unholy. The voice said, "Feed me." And Obadele nodded. "They will not stop coming," he whispered. "They are desperate. They will pay anything." The water rippled, forming faces, faces of the dead villagers, crying out silently. Mamarisi gasped, covering her mouth. She saw the priest pour black powder into the river, and as it dissolved, the trees shuddered. The river turned red for a moment. That was when she knew. The sickness was not a curse from the gods. It was from him. The priest had made a pact with something beneath that river. He had unleashed the illness himself, and every healing he performed only deepened his bond with the creature. Each coin offered by the villagers strengthened the curse. Every soul healed paid a hidden price. Mamarisi ran back to the village trembling. She gathered the elders and told them what she saw. But they laughed. "How dare you accuse the man who saved us?" they shouted. "You are jealous. Your power is gone, old woman." Even her own son, Tade, who had once helped her gather herbs, turned against her. He now served as one of the priest's assistants. "Mother," he said, "Priest Obadele has brought hope to Anew. Do not destroy what little peace we have left." She begged him to listen, but he walked away. And so, Mamarisi was cast out. The next morning, her hut was burned. That night, the priest stood before the villagers and spoke with a calm smile. "The gods are displeased with false tongues," he said, looking toward the ashes of Mamarisi's home. "But do not worry. I will protect you all." And the crowd cheered. But as days passed, the sickness returned, stronger, fiercer. Only now, those who once were healed began to fall ill again and die screaming. Their bodies decayed faster than before. Whispers began to spread. Children saw shadows crawling under the priest's hut at night. Some said they saw faces peering through the cracks in the floor, faces of those who had died. Tade, Mamarizi's son, began to doubt. He saw how the priest's hands trembled when no one was watching, how his eyes flickered like candlelight in the dark. One night, unable to sleep, Tad followed the priest into the forest, just as his mother once had. He hid in the same place and watched. He saw the same ritual, the same black powder, the same blood-colored river. But this time, the voice from the water spoke clearer. It said, "Your time is short, Obadeli. Feed me more, or I shall feed on you." The priest screamed, striking the water with his staff. "I have given you enough. I have given you the souls of an entire village." "Then give me the one who knows," the voice hissed. "Give me the woman." Tad gasped. The creature wanted Mamarisi. He ran. He ran through the forest, his breath ragged, until he reached the hut where his mother now hid on the outskirts of the village. When he told her what he saw, tears filled her eyes, not from fear, but sorrow. "I warned them," she whispered. "Now the earth itself will claim them." Together, they planned to expose the priest. At dawn, Tade went to the shrine, pretending to seek help for his sick mother. The priest smiled, his voice soft like honey. "Bring her. The gods will heal her." But that night, as the priest began his chant over a pot of steaming herbs, Mamarisi stepped forward from the shadows, holding an ancient talisman, one her grandmother had given her, carved with forbidden symbols. "Enough, Obadeli," she cried. "Your falsehood ends tonight." The priest froze. His calm mask slipped, revealing eyes that now glowed like burning coals. "So," he hissed, "you come to defy me, witch? You poisoned these lands," she shouted. "You fed on their pain. But the river spirit will not have you tonight." The ground began to shake. The pots shattered. The villagers, awakened by the noise, ran toward the shrine. They arrived just as the earth split open before the altar. From the crack rose a black mist, twisting and whispering, with eyes that glowed like embers. The river spirit had come to collect its due. "Obadela," it said, "you promised me souls. You promised me her." The priest fell to his knees, pleading, "Spare me. Take anyone else." Mamarisi raised the talisman high. "You will take only what belongs to you." She chanted words older than the village itself. The wind roared. The shrine burst into flames. The mist howled, pulling at both her and the priest. Tade screamed, "Mother!" But she looked back and smiled, a sad, peaceful smile. "For Anew," she whispered. Then the mist consumed them both. When the fire died, only ashes remained. The river returned to its calm, dark stillness. And as dawn broke, the villagers stood in silence. The priest was gone. The sickness was gone too. Tade walked to the river and saw his mother's reflection, smiling faintly before fading into the water. From that day, no one ever built another shrine by the river. The people of Anew rebuilt their homes, their farms, their lives, but they never spoke of the priest again. Yet sometimes, on cold nights when the wind blew from the forest, villagers swore they could hear whispers, soft, chanting voices carried by the river. And if you ever wander too close to that place, you might see a shadow standing by the water, whispering, "Feed me, just one more soul." And that is the tale of Obadele, the priest of shadows. A story of faith turned to greed, of healing turned to hunger, and of how even the purest light can be swallowed by darkness.